Microsoft Surface Duo, and why honestly, I think especially the techies, and I am part of the techies. If you guys didn't know, I'm a spec head. I like specs, but I like specs being done well. But because I like specs being done well, you kind of have to keep an open mind when there's new form factors being tried out. And I feel like the Microsoft Surface Duo is doing something that is familiar but different for this decade, next to what's happened with the folding screen phones. And I just think people have missed it so much to the point where it's about, it came with an 855 plus, so it's a write-off. It's too expensive, so it's a write-off. I don't know. I don't feel that way, and I've not felt that way. If you're judging it purely based on first generation and you're not trying to see the bigger picture of what potentially Microsoft is trying to do, then I think secretly, in my opinion, you miss the point of what the Surface Duo could potentially be. Only if Microsoft don't cue in Mr. Technically Speaking, he did a video on that, but we'll talk and we'll break it down. Here it is, right? This is where I think people are getting in their feelings about Surface Duo, and we'll go to GSM Arena and have a deeper dive into it. So Microsoft Surface Duo, dual 5.6 inch OLED, which is obviously your organic light emitting diode display, which are the gold standard of what you should be having. 2700 by 1800 display. It has a single camera at 11 megapixels f2.0 that shoots 4K 60, which can effectively behave as your rear and a front facing camera. So I already like that. Very efficient and very clean design. Snapdragon 855 and 6 gigabytes of RAM. Snapdragon 855 is what you'll find in the 2019 OnePlus 7 Pro from May. And let me tell you, this phone is not slow by any means. 3,577 milliamp hour battery, 4G LTE. And this is where people are getting up in arms. Yeah, fine. It's expensive. Should you buy it for that reason? No. Should you buy any extravagant, trying to do something first generation product in anything? No. On a sensible buy? No. Available 10th of September. Pre-orders are available now. Let's switch over to GSM Arena. Gorilla Glass 5 front and back, pixel density 401, PPI Patrol, 3:2 aspect ratio display, very much like their Surface laptops, so there's some form of, continuity. Folded display, that's what you've got there in terms of the resolution. Android 10, good. 6 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, 256 UFS 3.0, yada yada yada, as we know. Uses the main camera, which I think is great, 18 watt fast charging. This is a very, very clean cut phone. How am I going to approach this? Okay, we'll add a bit of rant style to it. This is where my issue is, not with the phone. This is where my issue is with the same people, the same group of people that are talking about how the smartphone industry is stale and the smartphone industry is boring, are the same people that are instantly writing it off. You guys are the issues. You guys are the problem. Look, no one said accept it as a good product for a first gen product. No one said don't critique the product as a first gen. Do that. Our critiques make these products better and better and better. But you can critique a product and still give it a fair shot and have an open mind to what potential visionary. I'm already seeing people writing it off because it's not a foldable device because it doesn't have a folding screen. Okay, fine. How does that not make it a folding device? Does it fold? Yes. What I think is more impressive about this is how thin the device is with that sophisticated hinge mechanism. So yeah, to me, it's classed as a foldable device. But there can be categories of foldable device. You can have horizontal folding screen devices. You can have vertical folding screen devices like what you get with the Z Flip and the Z Flip 5G, or the horizontal ones like the first generation Fold, as well as the Royal Flex Pi or the Mate X or the Mate SS or the Z Fold 2, which will possibly be my new phone. Yeah, cue it in. Let's come back. Let me refocus. Now, thinking about it from that perspective, what exactly is wrong with having a dual screen foldable device like the Duo? It falls into what LG were doing, but this is in a much more sophisticated way. So I don't agree with the notion that it cannot be classed as a foldable device. It may not be a folding screen device, say that, no issues, but it's a foldable device. One, you're then missing out on the potential clean operating system integration with Android and Microsoft. Honestly, I said it originally that I felt like it was an opportunity for Microsoft to get off their giving up behind and actually not go with Android and do their own operating system. But fine, they're using Android, great. Remember, there's a Surface Neo as well, which is a Windows-based operating system version of this product and a slightly bigger form factor, but still dual screen. What they could potentially do is bring a unique and specific user experience for a niche group of people, especially the business users, that could actually find this very viable because of Microsoft integrated systems, but with a clean Android experience. No one wants to see that. No one wants to give that a chance. From a logical standpoint, as a first generation product, these are the reasons not to buy it. It's too goddamn expensive. Yes, true, it's too expensive. It's got 2 generations of system on the chips that's behind. One, because 865 plus, 865, 855 plus, 868, 855. Fine, it's that deep. Your system on a chip that you will barely know any performance difference, and it still runs well on my OnePlus 7 Pro. That's the real complaint here on a new form factor and something new that they're trying to actually develop. Now, bearing in mind that this year has been one of the craziest year pandemic wise that has slowed down production, people forget that. It's almost like, yeah, regardless, these companies should be just doing everything that they can anyway, even if there is like an existential crisis that's happening worldwide to all of us that's slowing things down. That's not to be accounted. Still want to duck points for them trying something new. Fine, it doesn't have 16 gigabytes of RAM. It doesn't have 12 gigabytes of RAM. It doesn't have 8 gigabytes of RAM. Boo-hoo. It doesn't have all screen. Boo-hoo. But you're not seeing that zero shift, you know, the hinge. You're not seeing the software cohesion that could happen with 2 screens. You're not seeing the Microsoft integration with a clean Android experience. And you're not seeing a different foldable device that could add to that category. The biggest downfall to this is Microsoft's reputation to give up on themselves way too early. Microsoft giving up on Windows Phone. Microsoft giving up on Mixer. Microsoft literally just giving up so easily on certain key things that they have no reason to, and especially in that case, that is the biggest problem I see with this product. Microsoft just need to be brave enough to be like Samsung. I never knew that a second generation folding screen device would entice me so much where I actually want to buy it. That's how far Samsung have pushed this folding screen, their Infinity Flex platform, in a space of a year. I was not expecting to see a phone in its form factor of the Z Fold 2 until at least 2023. Does it mean the Z Fold 2 is perfect? No. But the fact that it will probably make more sense as a techie like me, as an early adopter, to want to buy it, it shows how Samsung are seriously not giving up. They had every reason. The way the original Fold got slated in that poor launch, luckily it was good that the journalists and the reviewers are the ones that caught the problem. Imagine a mass public. Did that stop them? No. They went back to the drawing board and they went hard at the paint. They went hard at the paint to the point where I was not expecting to see a folding screen phone with such a large display that has a variable refresh rate that goes up to 120 hertz. Like anyone that was expecting a high refresh rate folding screen phone, boy, I was shocked. Maybe it's not a big deal to you, but I'm thinking I was not expecting to see that tech in a year. And then it's variable as well. Like, bro, that's sticking it to them, and that's making sure that you're making things because you believe in it. Microsoft, all you've got to do with us here, you've got to prove to us that you believe in a product as much as you do so we can believe in it. Because when you don't and you give up on it and you sell this dream and all of a sudden, we've given up, that's when you spoil it. That to me is the biggest problem. It's not the specs. It's not, oh, it's 4 chipsets behind, or it's only 6 gigabytes of RAM. It doesn't have 8, 12 or 16, or it doesn't have 1 terabyte of storage. It doesn't have hybrid. I don't see that to be the issue here. I see those things coming in time, but what we want to see is the unique selling points, so the design, the aesthetics, the hinge mechanism, how the software behaves with the dual screen, so we can see an alternative to the folding screen that within the foldable category, you can be a person that finds value in folding screen devices, or you can find the value of a folding screen device that actually makes your device more compact, or you can have a dual foldable device that brings maximum productivity. What's wrong with that? I don't know why people are missing that. What's wrong with having that set of diversification within that foldable category of devices? But no, we'll just write it off because it has an 855. Mismove that, man. And that's coming from someone that appreciates specs. I love specs. This is not the final frontier. This is first generation. If this was final frontier with a phone that we're used to seeing in its current form, and it wasn't giving me the latest, yeah, let's go ham at it. You're giving me one camera, not the latest chipset, and you expect, come on, yes, go ham. This is a new product, guys. This is a new category. Why can't we, the ones that keep complaining about smartphones being boring, why can't we just see when a company's trying to actually break grounds that give them a chance, don't give them a pass, give them a chance, let's critique it, they hear the real world critique, they improve it. If that is not an example of what happened with the first fold into the second fold, I don't know what it is, guys. Don't let it be about the specs too much. And that's coming from a spec junkie like myself. Come on, man. Microsoft, make it happen. Stick to it. Second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. Don't cop out like you did before. And if you do that, we can have a diverse foldable category for these new generations, for this decade of mobile smartphones. That's my opinions and that's my thoughts on the Microsoft Surface Duo.